Okay, so we're inside the neck bin of the Dalek, and what I've done is I've added struts to the four main support struts, and these 8 extra struts have been designed to try and push the mesh into shape, because it's quite flimsy and not the greatest thing in the world, but at least it was for free. So I think I've kind of got it now. It's better than it was, and it's not so buckled and messy. And I've tried to get the struts to line up with the uprights that go around the outside, so it doesn't really kind of block the view so much. So it's certainly a lot better than it was anyway. It's not perfect. It still needs a little bit of work, but the only other thing I do is just add mesh to the inside of this mesh, so actually like a proper kind of mesh, like this stuff. Wrap that on the inside of the mesh to give it some sturdiness, but then it's like a lot of waste of mesh just to get this idea to work. And I think I'll just get it cut to shape and just get everything to kind of work, and then decide whether it's worth pursuing perfecting that, because the trouble is I don't want it to interfere too much with the neck ring, because that needs to come off so I can paint the neck rings. So it needs to be fairly take apartable, so I don't want to agonize too much. I mean, there's gaps around the edges here like that. You know, the mesh inside this fabric, it would help maybe push it out a bit more. But certainly the struts given it a bit of shape. I don't know if they've really made a huge bit of difference. I've tried to countersink them a bit, so they are actually countersinked into the ring, top and bottom, so that they don't stick out too much, because basically the neck ring wasn't going back on because the struts I put on were sticking out too much. So I've countersunk them a little bit, and it basically has given the mesh a bit more integrity, but it's not ideal. But that's the pros and cons of using flimsy, cheap material like this. But at least it was, like I say, for free, so I can't really complain. So, like I say, I think I'm just going to cut it to shape and then get it all stuck together, and then get things painted, because there's lots of other things to worry about, and it's not the end of the world if I can't get the mesh to really work. So, and after all, once the dome is in place, it won't make a hell of a lot of difference anyway, I guess. And once that's on and that's rotated, it won't be so noticeable, I suppose. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of imperfections in this thing anyway. I mean, I've tried to clean up most of the imperfections, such as replacing panel 7, which was the most noticeable. I just readjusted that panel and made a few other adjustments around the body, and readjusted the heights of these neck rings, and maybe that's all I really need to do, and just get on with getting the collars and the slats and the base sorted out, and the dome, and all the mechanics basically to make it a workable Dalek. So, but yeah, I suppose in the camera it doesn't really make a huge difference with the neck bin I've put in, the neck mesh. So I was just quite lucky to find an old trampoline. So I think it'll be okay for the moment, and then like I say, I can always just come back to the neck bin and spruce it up if I need to.